If you're a local business owner, your website is either making you money or losing it. Today, I'm going to walk you through a real local business website example and show you the most common mistakes that kill conversions and how to fix them. Before we start, I want to make something clear. I'm not throwing shade at this business that I'm using as an example. Running a business is already very hard. Business owners are focused on operations, their employees, their customers, and so on. But from a website conversion perspective, we see these common mistakes coming up over and over again that hurt conversions and lose businesses' potential customers. So in this video, I'm going to break them down, show a real example, and talk a little bit about how to fix these problems. The example that we'll be using today, I found while Googling for plumbers in Stockholm. So the first big mistake is not having a clear value proposition. When someone lands on your website, within 3 to 5 seconds at most, a person should be able to instantly understand these three things. What exactly do you do? Who do you do it for? And why should I choose you? Now, let's look at this example we have here. Here we are on the home page. We can see here there is a big, complicated navigation menu. There's a lot of stuff going on in this big header here. We have some information here at the bottom. But the big mistake here is that in this hero section, which is what you see on your home page, as soon as you open the website without scrolling at the very top, the big mistake here is there's no heading or subheading that explains those three things that I mentioned. What exactly do you do? Who is it for? And why should I choose you? As we can see, there's none of that going on here. And that's just going to lead to confusion for your visitors and lead to them bouncing off of your page within seconds. So this mistake can very easily be fixed simply by adding a heading and a subheading in the hero section here that just says something along the lines of emergency plumbing in Stockholm and so on. If we look at another example here of a website I found searching for plumbers in Stockholm, we can see that they have the big heading and the subheading here in the hero section that explains what they do, who they do it for, etc. Now, mistake number 2 is not having a clear CTA or call to action. The next thing a person should see after opening the website, seeing the heading explaining what they do, who they do it for, and so on, is a clear call to action telling them what to do next. If we look at this website here, there is no clear call to action instantly visible telling us what to do next. The only CTA I can find here without scrolling is here at the very bottom with this little text telling us to contact a plumber today. The way to fix this is also very simple. You can see here on this example that I showed you earlier where they have the heading and the hero section telling you what the business does, who they do it for, etc. Then they have these big yellow buttons here that tell you to either call them or book a visit with them online. Mistake number 3 is having poor or no lead capture. If you are a local service business, leads are your business's lifeblood. As such, you want the visitors on your website to leave their contact information and you want to make it as easy as possible so there's no friction. The most common and probably the best way to do this is to put a lead collection form directly in the hero section. If we look at another example here, also a plumber in Stockholm, then we can see right here in the hero section they have a very simple classic send an inquiry form where you leave your name, phone number, email, etc. As opposed to the example we were looking at here, there's a half hidden contact us button, and besides that, you know, there's the phone number that you can call here in the header. That's okay, but if I was working on this website, I would definitely put a lead collection form right away in the hero section. If you're not doing that, then you're just leaving potential leads on the table. And I want to emphasize that this goes specifically for almost every local service business website. Not, you know, an e-commerce website is not going to want a lead collection form in their hero section. The next mistake is having poor or complicated navigation menus. This is something that a lot of local business websites overcomplicate unintentionally. Oftentimes when a business grows, They add more services, so you add more service pages, and then you add more drop-down menus. Suddenly you have a menu with 10 different items in it. If we look at this example, we can see that the navigation menu is very complicated, and in some of these drop-downs there's a crazy amount of things to click on. If I'm a potential customer, where do I click? That question alone reveals the problem. Confusion creates friction, and friction is going to stop visitors on your website from converting to leads or customers. As a local business, you want to keep your navigation menu as simple as possible. We're talking about home, services, about us, contact us. Most of the time, that's going to be enough. Instead of listing 12 different services in your menu, put them all on a clean and structured services page. I'm not going to go into how to structure a service page because that's going to be a whole video in itself. But what I want you to keep in mind from this is keep your navigation menu as simple as possible. Now, the last mistake that I want to talk about in this video is mobile optimization, or rather lack thereof. This is one of the biggest and most important things to get right when making your website. Regardless of what kind of business you are, most of your traffic is going to come from mobile, especially if you're a local service business. Think about it like this. Someone Googles, let's take this example, plumber in Stockholm on their phone. They're going to go on Google Maps and click on your website. Or maybe they were scrolling on Facebook or Instagram when they saw your ad. If we look at this website's mobile version, the layout is very messy. The header is way too big. If we click on the hamburger menu, it's completely overwhelming. The pictures are not cropped well. This is a very good example of poor mobile friendliness. All of these little mistakes result in a messy website that creates friction for the visitor. And again, friction is going to stop visitors from converting into leads or customers. They will look at your website for 3 to 5 seconds and they will realize that it's a mess. They don't want to navigate the site and it's difficult for them to understand, and they will just bounce. Mobile optimization is another one of those things where I could make multiple videos on, so I'm not going to go into detail in this one about how to do it correctly. But what I want you to keep in mind is that most of your traffic is going to come from mobile. So if your site is not mobile optimized, then you are going to lose a lot of potential customers or leads. Okay, so those were the 5 most common mistakes that I see a lot of local business websites making that really hurt their conversions. Let me know if you would like me to make in-depth videos in the future on how to fix some of these things that I talk about. And if you are a small to medium-sized business in Sweden and you're not sure whether your website is hurting your business or actually helping you grow, then there's a link in the description that you can click to book a free consultation with us. We'll take a look at your setup and tell you what you can improve. Click it, don't click it, it's up to you. At least start thinking of your website as a sales tool instead of a digital brochure. Talk soon.